Did Brad Garlinghouse himself tell us when we are going to see a settlement, and can we confirm this? Well, we're going to be talking about it, we're going to be addressing it, but first, welcome everyone to the channel. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. And overall, as we look at the SEC and as we look at Gary Gensler, there has been a lot of pressure put on the shoulders of Gary and also even the entire SEC staff themselves. Here we have a post from Eleanor Tourette, and she's actually quoting what Mark Cuban said here. We have new Mark Cuban tells attendees at Coinbase's State of Crypto event that he's telling senators, governors, and representatives that the problem for American crypto companies is the SEC Gov registration process. He calls this a uniquely American Gary Gensler problem. Now, I think that this definitely does speak volumes, but I don't think that's just a Gary Gensler problem. I've talked about this in the past. You know, you had Jay Clayton, you had Bill Hinman. Like, it's a major problem with the entire agency. And it also goes up the line. Like, if we really look at these government agencies and these, politicians, there's so much corruption that's just, it's so ridiculous. It's so obvious as well. So in my opinion, I don't think it's just a Gary Gensler problem, though. I think that Gary Gensler himself is definitely an issue, 100%. But I think that's much bigger than Gary. But also over here, we have new Mark Cuban says Gary Gensler could literally cost Joe Biden the election because of all the young voters that own crypto. If he has a political career in mind, he's done, Cuban says of Gensler. Now, if we think about that, 50 million crypto holders in the US. I don't know how accurate that is. You got to remember there's a lot of people that are still going through, decentralized exchanges, decentralized wallets, things like that. But 50 million is substantial. Even if that's just like a rough estimate, 50 million is a very large number, and it could definitely impact, the decision here in terms of, the election. So, and the big thing that I focus on when it comes to elections is the pandering to voters, right? There's a lot of pro-crypto discussions happening right now. And one of the most obvious ones is what Joe Biden and the admin behind him is actually doing. And it's funny because here we have over here from Good Morning Crypto, we have breaking: US President Joe Biden's campaign has entered discussions with Coinbase about accepting crypto donations in 2024. But wait a second, I thought Coinbase was being sued by the SEC. They're still in a lawsuit. Coinbase is, X, Y, and Z. And it's funny that now we have the campaign behind Joe Biden entering in discussions with accepting crypto donations on Coinbase. Now, I will say this. To me personally, they're trying to show everyone like, hey, we love crypto, we support crypto. That's why we're, accepting donations in crypto. These people are false prophets. These presidents like Joe Biden and this entire admin has been negative towards crypto. In fact, they've been anti-crypto for so long. But they're paying attention to issues around crypto and are trying to find quick wins to show that they're supportive of the industry, said one source who works with politicians and crypto industry leaders. They want to show that they're not the enemy. Coinbase Commerce facilitates crypto transactions between customers and merchants, including Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, DAI, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, USDC, Tether, ApeCoin, and Shiba Inu. After nearly 4 years of this admin attacking the crypto market through regulators, Kraken, Ripple, Coinbase, etc., will this pro-crypto shift have an impact come November? And in my opinion, I don't think that it's going to, because I feel as everyone is like really kind of seeing through this nonsense, because we know about this admin. We know what happened back in 2023. We know what's been going on for the last 4 years. And even more so, right? Just recently at the end of May, if you want to dominate this cycle and absolutely crush it with profits, you need to go and check out the new course that I just dropped. And the best part is that it's completely free. That's right, it's completely free. There's going to be a link down in the description below. Go and get this course right now before the market goes absolutely parabolic. President Biden vetoes bill that would allow highly regulated financial firms to custody Bitcoin and crypto. I mean, just going off of this statement alone and looking at this, right? This shows you that they're not serious about being pro-crypto. They don't care about being pro-crypto. They don't care about crypto at all. They're still anti-crypto and they're still against it. But now that, we're getting closer and closer to November, start pushing the pro-crypto narrative. Even over here, we have from Brad Garlinghouse, if the Biden admin is actually serious about a shift, finally waking up to the crypto electorate, the single most important thing is demand the resignation of Gary Gensler. And we have, well, after only a few hours, this post didn't age well. And this is because he vetoed SAB 121. So it's comical to me that they're still pandering to voters. They're still trying to get voters to, say, hey, look at, they're flipping pro crypto, even though we know that they're not. Now, talking about this, let's address a few things. First and foremost, I think that we need to address what Stuart Alderoty, the chief legal officer at Ripple, has been putting out. We have this SEC is again touting a big penalty, but the SEC actually will end up a creditor in bankruptcy court. See BlockFi. The SEC has become a show regulator chasing headlines rather than good policy. And we have Do Kwon and Terraform Labs have agreed to pay the SEC a combined $4.5 billion in to settle the civil fraud case against them. The settlement would also ban Kwon and Terraform from buying or selling crypto asset securities. And I love how they're saying securities. I mean, what can he buy? What can he sell? Because last time I checked, these are not securities. But $4.5 billion is substantial. On top of the 4.5 billion, right? One thing I will say is this will be paid to the SEC. If anything, this should be paid back to the customers, to holders of, Luna. Like, what about all those people that lost money through this? They should be the ones getting this money, not the SEC. I mean, it's just ridiculous to me. But outside of that, we also have SEC is now arguing $2 billion penalty against Ripple is needed, slams $10 million counter proposal. You probably know about this in the beginning of May, right? Well, let's go to this new one that just came out. This is a response from the SEC to Ripple, and this is regarding the Terraform Labs consent judgment. Now, I saw a lot of people saying like, oh, it went from $2 billion to $100 million, so I guess a settlement is incoming, right? This is wrong. When we look at this, what we are seeing, and let me open this up in a new tab just so you guys can see this. Look down at the bottom. Ripple also compares the size of the Terraform penalty to the amount that defendants' gross sales, arguing the court should impose the same 1.27 ratio in terms of percentage. And we have, but that's not an apples to apples comparison. Ripple avoids comparing the Terraform settlement's penalty to the gross profit of the violative conduct. That ratio, 420 million divided by 3.587 billion, is significantly higher, 11.7%. Applying it to the $876.3 million in gross profits, the SEC here asks the court to disgorge results in a much larger figure, a 102.6 million penalty than the 10 million ceiling Ripple insists on. So what they're actually saying here is that if we're really looking at the previous reasons and everything around that, the low of a penalty would not satisfy the purposes of the civil penalty statutes. So what they're saying is instead of $10 million, Ripple should have said, hey, we'll settle out for 102.6 million instead. So it's not, oh, hey, we're going from 2 billion to 102.6 million. I saw a lot of people saying that. Even over here, like they went from 2 billion to 100 million. So I guess settlement incoming. And a lot of people were saying this as well. But for the most part, that's not what this means. A lot of people were misunderstanding what this actually means. Now, outside of that, we have over here, the SEC is raging. Ripple defended itself, agreeing to nothing. The court gave clarity that XRP is not a security. There are no victims to compensate, and worst of all, for the SEC, Ripple is thriving, but at least the SEC seems to have abandoned its absurd demand for $2 billion. Again, when we really look at this, right, they're still asking for a significant amount. They're not asking for 102 million. They're not asking for anything like that. They're still asking for well over $1 billion. We have to wait and see what's going to happen with this. But in my opinion, I don't think that Ripple should even pay 100 million. They should not at all. There is no reason for it. There's no victims here to compensate. It is ridiculous that the SEC is asking such massive amounts of money. So in my opinion, when we really look at what's going on here, I focus on the facts, and the facts are the SEC is in the wrong here. Ripple is not. I really do think that this is a big issue, and hopefully, this could get put behind us very soon. Over here, we have from Brad Garlinghouse. He predicts the final verdict from court by the end of this summer, September 21st. David Schwartz giggles. Now, this is from Bank XRP. This is from the recent XRP Apex. I don't want to put too much weight on this. I started to see a lot of people saying like, confirmed, it's 100% confirmed, it's 100% proof that, no, it's not. Listen, it's a prediction by Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. If anything, I would argue that, whenever a settlement happens, whenever this is, finished, that's great, but I'm not going to be dead set on these dates or anything like that, or any of that nonsense, because how many times have we, looked at a date and or a prediction and said, all right, yeah, I think that's going to happen that day. And then all of a sudden, guess what? That day comes and goes and nothing happens. It's countless times. But listen closely.
Look, I think as you reflect on the last handful of years, we'll call it 4 or 5 years, there are things that are super frustrating. Why did the SEC go after XRP kind of first, if you will? In some ways, you look at that now and you say, we're almost at the very, very end of that journey. I think that, hopefully we have resolution. We can't control that now. The judge, will make the decision when she makes the decision. My estimation is sometime before the end of the summer. Somebody asked me, is that the end of August? I pointed out that September 21st is the end of summer. So I don't know, sometime there.
I think my birthday, August 28th, that's the end of summer.
You know what? I'll ask her if we could celebrate your birthday with that. That would be, we'll all celebrate with you.
We'll call the judge.
But look, it has been frustrating. What has been exciting is the momentum that has been building. I mean, look, there are 3 times as many people here as the last Apex. This community is more active, more vibrant, more entrepreneurial. I mean, it's just awesome. Like I see the momentum and the excitement here, and it's just very palpable. The U.S. market remains, frankly, a laggard. The U.S. regulatory environment, even though Ripple is at the tail end of that, and I think it's strange to me that XRP is in such a unique position and that the market hasn't kind of rewarded that. XRP in the US is one of the few things we can say definitively is not a security. With ETH, I don't know how that's going to play out, right? Apparently Wells notices, which is the SEC kind of pre-warning that we're going to file a lawsuit, have been gone out to consensus, purportedly, as I've read, maybe on your side as well, to consensus. We know the Ethereum Foundation has received various inquiries. So look, it's super frustrating. And even it's not just the SEC. The United States kind of current administration with Gary Gensler as the head of the SEC has been pretty hostile towards crypto. But look, you asked the macro question. That has been frustrating. I think we're on largely on the other side of that. And it's the reason why I'm so excited. And hearing David talk about what's going on in the XRP ledger, I look at the next 5 years and what this community may look like 5 years from now, and I get very excited about it.
David, what does that look like from the perspective of client engagement?
So there you guys have it. And again, when we really look at this, I do think that, as we look at the US, I think that they're just waiting, if I'm being completely honest with you. I think that they're waiting for Mika. And then once Mika is here, everything is going to shift, because remember, this happened around the internet as well. It happened in, previous technological advancements. Regulatory movements typically happen in Europe first, and then all other nations really kind of move forward. And I do think that that's pretty much what the US is waiting for. If they're not, then I have no idea what they're doing. Maybe they're just kind of trying to halt it. Maybe they're trying to, keep the banking industry alive and well. But I don't think that that's going to last too much longer. I mean, listen, as every single nation around the world is moving forward on DLT and blockchain-based technology adoption and innovation, how much longer can the US wait, right? But on top of this, as we really look at a settlement, I don't think that it matters too much, if I'm being honest. I see a lot of people saying like, oh, it 100% does matter. It's going to, siphon the price action of, XRP if we don't get it, finished by the end of this bull run. And honestly, I don't think that's going to. I think that, yeah, back in 2020 into 2021, it was a big problem, but I don't think that's going to be this time around, because I feel as though everyone at this point has kind of given up on the SEC. I don't think that they even care about the SEC, at least in my opinion. And we started to see a lot more, articles coming out. Like, for an example, over here from the Wall Street Journal opinion, this is SEC Chairman Gary Gensler stretching the agency's power, and in doing so has compromised its ability to do its main job competently. One result is that its roles and enforcement actions are wilting under judicial scrutiny. And, this is from the Wall Street Journal opinion. Obviously, it's not like a massive, news outlet or anything like that. But I feel as though this is everyone's opinion. I think that this is pretty much anyone that's in crypto that sees the facts understand that the SEC is a big nothing agency at this point. So as we really look at XRP, I don't think that's going to be stifled too much this time around. I see a lot of people making that argument, but I just don't think that that's what's holding XRP back from going crazy. I think that mainly it's just we're not in alt season yet. When we're in alt season, then we can really kind of determine where XRP is going to go, what's going to happen. Once we start to see momentum dying down, well, then we pretty much know that XRP is topped wherever it is pretty much at that point in time. So with that being said, to really kind of summarize things, I'm not dead set on the fact that, all right, yeah, September 21st is when we get, a settlement or anything like that. I would argue I don't really care too much about the settlement. I'm not really focused too much on it. I feel like it's a big distraction and it's just noise. But that's my opinion. Everyone can have their own. Overall, I just look forward to seeing XRP go crazy, which I do assume that it will happen this cycle, and I'm very excited about that. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. If you guys are more welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord on the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.